Migui, and thank you very much indeed. We are in Ugunja constituency, of course, keeping an eye on what is happening here today. And of course, the cake, as you already alluded to, is about 60,114 registered voters. And that is what, of course, 10 contestants, as you've already said, will be gunning for. And each and every one of them, of course, will be hoping that they can get the largest share of the cake. Now, the constituency has about 116 polling stations across this constituency. And of course, where I'm standing now, I am standing at Ugunja Townhall Polling Station, and this station has about 3 stations. Of course, each and every one of it having about 500 registered voters, and in total, it has about 1,502 registered voters. And as is usually the case with by-elections across the country, is that the excitement around it, unless, of course, it is highly contested, as you've rightly put it, in Kaspul, people tend to come in small bits, in drops, painfully slow drops, and we can actually wait for quite some time before, of course, we get to see the lines that we're actually accustomed to during elections in this country. As I speak to you right now, of course, we've just seen about a handful of registered voters who've actually just come here and cast their vote. They're not more than 10 since this polling station opened. This, of course, station opened at around 6 a.m. in the morning, as was scheduled. And, of course, we've been talking to presiding officer of this station, and he tells me that, of course, they're expecting that more and more of them will be coming in slowly. Of course, most of them are actually engaged in other activities, as usually the case before they actually eventually come here and vote. But as I've said, as is usually the case with by-elections, the numbers are not as high as you expect in a general election, of course, unless, of course, there's a high interest as one that is being, of course, seen in Malava and Kaspul constituencies. But, of course, here where we are at Ugunja Town Hall, of course, we're expecting that a number of contestants will be actually coming here to cast their vote. We're told this is where the immediate former member of National Assembly, Opio and I, casts his vote. We're expecting that anytime from now, probably he'll be finding his way to this place, so then he can actually participate in this exercise. We are also told that the ODM candidate, that is Moses, is also expected to cast his vote in Ligega. So that is another candidate that will actually also be keenly following. The other person that will be of interest to us is the only lady in this by-election. That is Liliana Kinyi, who is gunning for that seat on National Alliance Party. Will also be keenly following to get to see how she'll actually be going about that particular activity. But as I speak to you now, Mike Migui, this exercise started as was scheduled yesterday. Yesterday when we spoke to the returning officer, Dennis Omari, he did indicate that there will be enough ample security in the polling stations, and he indicated that at least we'll be getting at least 2 police men in each and every polling station. That was witnessed yesterday, and today in the morning when we came here, they were actually standing guard from early in the morning just to ensure that everything goes as per plan. He also indicated that, of course, the polling stations will be opened at 6 a.m. in the morning. That has also happened. He also said that they will be doing bits and spot checks across all the 116 polling stations across the constituency, just to ensure that everything is in a top gear. So just to give you a feel of exactly what happens in a polling station, they have ensured that they have at least 3 streams. They used to be called the streams. Nowadays they're called stations. So what happens is that you come, and as per your alphabetical order, then you identify the station that you'll actually be going to. And in this particular polling station, we have 3 stations, each and every station having about 500 registered voters. This, of course, where we are at, this is the station 3 that has about 502 registered voters. We also have another one that has 500, and then the other one also has about 500 registered voters. Once you identify your station based on your alphabetical order, what happens next is that then you are directed by the clerks and who are actually here, and of course each and every activity is observed by the agents who are actually taken a strategic position. The picture that you're actually seeing on your screen now, and then what happens is that of course you're guided on how each and every activities will be undertaken, and then of course after you are done, there's the marking of that of your finger to indicate, little finger, just to indicate that indeed you have successfully completed the exercise before, of course, you walk out of the station. Dennis Omari, the returning officer, yesterday did ask locals here that when they will be coming to participate in this exercise, that they come quite early, participate in the exercise, and then leave the polling stations. As we know, what usually happens is that at times youths and just curious onlookers tend to mill around polling stations. They were discouraged yesterday by the returning officers and asked that to come early, cast their vote, and of course leave the polling stations, and so that then they allow those that actually want to participate in this exercise to do so. Remember also, today is also a weekday, and maybe as is the case, locals, of course, are engaged in a number of activities. There are those that actually go to the market. There are those that actually tilling their farms. They're also engaged in other activities. Of course, that is also some of the contributory factors as to why, of course, some of the by-elections, of course, tend to witness slow, if I may put it that way, a streaming of voters who come into the station, and eventually, before we conclude the day, the returning officer Dennis Omari yesterday did indicate that, but given, of course, all factors remaining constant, that by around 8 p.m. this evening they'll start receiving ballot papers from different polling stations, and of course they will be going to Ambira Boys High School. That is where the tallying will be done, and of course they will begin the exercise of collecting the results to ensure, verifying and of course collecting the results to ensure that indeed each and every exercise is done within what is expected, and of course thereafter it is expected that the winner over this contest, of course, will be announced. You can trust Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC Channel 1, to bring you first-hand information of exactly what will be happening here in Ugunja constituency. Of course, I will be there. We here with my colleagues from the digital department, and of course the radio department, and we'll be giving you first-hand update of exactly what will be happening from this end. My name is Achula Simon, and of course I take it back to Mike Migwi and give us on minor in the studio